What is going on, y'all? It's TCG here, back again with another video, and today we're going to be covering some newer reveals. These might not be the newest, a couple of them just came out the other day, but I wanted to cover just these new promos and some of the new OP10 reveals that we got, and talk to you about them just a little bit. So this is my Discord server. If you haven't hopped in here already, there's a link to it down in the description below. I have this info linked from the big One Piece community Discord server, but if you want to talk with other like-minded individuals, share your deck list, talk market watch, anything like that, jump into my Discord server. We'd love to have you. But before we jump into that, I want to shout out today's sponsor, and that's going to be Dueling Guard. If you haven't heard of Dueling Guard yet, best company out there for TCG accessories. They just dropped their new Blue Lock Egoist collection, and it's absolutely fantastic. Look at this sick debossing artwork. They actually have a 2-player cloth mat that goes with this as well, and a set of action points. So if you're into Union Arena, you can pick up some nice custom action points with some of your favorite strikers on there. Super cool. And then they also have a whole bunch of new in stock and ready to ship stuff, including their Grand Line treasures. I get asked about this box all the time, and it's always been sold out, but here's your chance to go ahead and grab it. Use that link in the description. Use my code GumGumTCG. Save yourself a little bit of cash at discount at checkout. But let's go ahead and jump right back into the reveals here. So the first one up is Buggy. It's going to be a 7-cost 8k cross guild and 4 emperors type, and it cannot attack, but if your leader's Buggy, all cost 3 and 4 characters cannot attack. That's really crazy. Like, cross guild or Buggy cross guild leader deck, whatever, plays mostly like 5 and higher, and this is kind of just a big floodgate against a couple other decks. Like, imagine you drop this against a Dofi deck. They can't do anything unless they remove this card, and a lot of Dofi decks only play like Gravblade in 09. They don't really play Red Rock, so there's not a real good way for them to get rid of this. And also on play, you play a cost 6 or lower cross guild type character from your hand. Also, you can drop this off of your leader effect. So like turn 3, if you're at 5 Dawn, you can just drop this off of your leader effect, put a 7 drop and an 8 drop on the field for 5 Dawn. You're going down a little bit in card advantage, but like, I don't know, man. This feels really strong to me, just being a big floodgate against some stuff. But the artwork is definitely questionable. Not Buggy's best performance here. And then next we got Shanks. This card's actually kind of good, but I don't think it's crazy. I love the artwork though. It was drawn by the author of and the mangaka for Sakamoto Days, which is one of my favorite mangas. So really happy to see that, and it just looks sick. Really sick. But the effect, it's just okay. It's a 6-cost 7k for Emperor's Red Hair, and it does have a counter. This Buggy does not have a counter. I didn't mention that, but this has a counter 1,000. Dawn times 1 when attacking, you can trash a character from your hand, give an opponent's character power minus 1,000 for the turn, then draw a card. So that's actually not too bad. I could see this actually used in something like Vivi. The Vivi does like these bigger bodies with some good when attacking effects. And I could also see this used in Sanji, Red Sanji, but maybe not so much Shanks. Like, I think Shanks is kind of already filled up. Maybe like 1 or 2 of this. I think the part that makes it good is that you draw a card. Like, you might lose that character from your hand, but you are drawing a new card. So that feels good. And then next we get into these OP10 reveals. Right off the bat with some new leaders. One we have is a red-green smoker leader. 4 life, 5,000 power / Punk Hazard Navy typing. On your opponent's turn, your characters with the Navy or Punk Hazard trait gain 1,000 power. So they're a little harder to kill, you know? Like, instantly my mind goes to green Rosanate, the 8 cost. I believe it's an 8 cost 8k that makes it a 9k on your opponent's turn, so that's just hard to swing into. And then main, once per turn, if you have a character with 7,000 power or more, you set 2 Dawn as active. So as long as you have a 7k or higher character on the field, you're playing with 12 Dawn a turn. That's really good, man. Like, I think this leader has a lot of potential if they don't fumble the bag with the cards that go with it. Like, I feel like the same thing happened with Red Green Odin. Like, that leader felt like it could be really strong, and then we just didn't get a lot of great support for it. So I'm hoping this can turn that around and we'll get some awesome green Navy cards or something like that. I have a feeling we're going to get like a green Navy Rosanate again, or maybe even a yellow one, and you'll see more about that down here in a minute. Next we have Caesar Clown, red blue leader, 4 life, 5k power, special attribute, Scientist, and Punk Hazard. Scientist is a weird trait. I think that's interesting. Dawn ×2 when attacking, you can return one of your Punk Hazard type characters at the cost of 2 or more to the owner's hand. KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 4,000 power or less. It's very interesting, you know, like you can just kind of just start popping your opponent's smaller bodies really, really fast and right off the rip. So I think this has a lot of potential, but with blue being part of its color, I think that kind of confuses the color identity because blue usually bottom decks cost and effects with cost. Red is power based. We've seen this in Marco. So I'm hoping that a lot of the Punk Hazard cards are power based. We did get one revealed and we'll talk about that here in a minute, but they're really going to need to be power based for this effect to get a real good use out of it. Like, I'm thinking that we're going to get a big Caesar Clown that's a big, like, 8, 9, 10 drop, something like that, that gives the whole field, like, blanket reduction. Next, we have Usopp. This card is absolutely decent. Like, I don't think Usopp Leader himself is great, but, yeah, I don't know. At first, he had a mistranslation. He said... he's 4 life, 5k power, blue-black, Dressrosa, Straw Hat Crew. Your cost 2 and greater Dressrosa type characters have +1 cost. Originally, this said plus 1,000 power, I'm pretty sure. And that was like, okay, that seems really strong. Not anything crazy, but like that seems pretty good. And then it got retranslated. It's +1 cost, so it's just kind of harder for your opponent to remove the characters, which is fine. And then on your opponent's turn, once per turn, this effect may be activated when one of your Dressrosa type characters are removed from the field by your opponent's effect or are KO'd. So if a Dressrosa character leaves the field on your opponent's turn, once per turn, if you have 5 or less cards in your hand, you draw a card. So if they do remove any of your Dressrosa stuff or KO it, that means battle or anything, you get to draw a card. So kind of like a little boa effect there. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. And I think it really goes in hand with this Rebecca. It's a 7 cost blue, 4,000 power slash, counter 1,000. On play, if there is a cost 8 or greater character in play, draw a card. Then reveal up to 2 cost 7 or lower Dressrosa type characters other than Rebecca from your hand. Play one of them as active. Then if the other has a cost of 4 or lower, play it as rested. So you can play big Luffy off of this, the big Gear 4 Luffy off of this. You could play like almost any Dressrosa card off of this, honestly, as active. And then there's a lot of options that you can play as rested, except for Rebecca. I'm so happy that they did not allow you to play Rebecca off of this. I mean, it makes sense. She can't play herself. But, oh my god, if you could play the blocker Rebecca off of this, I really don't know what I would have done. Like, you could play this, and then you play blocker Rebecca active, you play big Luffy rested, and then you restand them, and then Rebecca trigger, or you get to trigger Rebecca to bring something else back as well, and probably search. Like, absolutely crazy. That would have been bonkers, but I'm so glad they put this clause on here. I'm so sick of that 4 cost Rebecca shenanigans, and I'm happy they didn't put that on here. But a new great target for this is the Kyros they gave us. It's also blue, 7 cost, 9k power, Dressrosa. On play, return a 5 or lower character to its owner's hand. That's really good. Like, 5 or lower isn't good, but when you think that this is a blue and black deck, you are going to have cost reduction, and this just instantly makes that insanely powerful. Like, with an Ice Age, you can bounce anything back to the hand, other than, I guess, Jack. But that's just insanely strong. Really, really like this card, especially paired with this Rebecca. It feels really, really strong. Another one that we got is Leo. It's a 1 cost, 2,000 power, Tontata Dressrosa, counter 1,000. On play, rest your leader or stage. If your leader is Usopp, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Reveal up to 2 cards other than Leo that have the Dressrosa type and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your deck and trash 1 card from your hand. So this is basically I mean, it's a +1. Like, you get to draw 2 and trash 1, but filtering your hand like that is really, really strong, especially early in the game, being a 1 cost. And that's another thing, is that Usopp can play Karaita Coliseum. There's a world where we get another stage for Dressrosa. I really wouldn't be surprised if we do. But I think this card is really good. Then we have some black Straw Hats from Dressrosa as well that I don't think are that good. We have a Nami, 2 cost, 0 power, 1000 counter. Activate main. You may rest this in one of your leader or stage that has the Dressrosa type. Draw 1 card, then trash 2 cards from the top of your deck. So like you get to draw 1 and fill up your trash. That's okay. It's not awful. It's not amazing. Tony Chopper, 2 cost, 0 power, counter 1000. Activate main. You may rest this in one of your leader or stage that has a Dressrosa type. If your opponent hand is 5 or greater, your opponent trashes a card from their hand, then trash the top 2 cards of your deck. So, I mean, trashing a card out of your opponent's hand is pretty good, but like you have to rest this and basically make it vulnerable to attacking. You're not going to get to use this like every single turn. It seems okay. Then we have a Frankie, 4 cost, 5000 power, Dressrosa, Straw Hat Crew, counter 1000. Blocker, when KO'd, play 1 cost 3 or lower Dressrosa type character rested from your trash. I think this one's pretty decent. Actually gets some use out of it. It's a blocker. When it dies, you get to bring back something else. Even though it's rested, there are many cards that you can get value off of. It's like this Leo. You could play him off of it and get some searching. Seems pretty decent. And then we have our next leader, and that's going to be a red-purple sugar leader. 4 life, 5k power, Don Quixote Pirates. On the end of your turn, if you have a character with the Don Quixote Pirates type with a power of 6000 power or more, set up to one of your Don as active. Now, that just feels like Diet Green-Purple Dofi. That leader just sets the 2 Don active. This one, you have to have one that has a 6000 power or more, which, I mean, that's not too hard to achieve. You know, there's going to be some bigger bodies in this deck, I imagine. But it just seems okay. And then, opponent's turn, once per turn, when you activate an event, set up to one of your Dawn from your Dawn deck as active. So you get to ramp 1 active when you use an event on your opponent's turn. Now, the first thing that comes to my mind is that this is not good if your opponent doesn't attack you. You are not going to have a way to ramp using this leader ability. The only way that you would is if they give a new type of event specifically for sugar. It's going to have to be a sugar restricted event, because if it's not, it's going to be broken in every single purple deck. But I'm thinking of like an event that's 1 or 0 cost that you can use. It's like activate main on your opponent's turn, and you just get to like search or like rest your leader or rest your character or something like that. And basically it's just you're trashing a card out of hand to ramp it on. I don't think it's going to be anything other than that. But like if your opponent does not attack you on turn 1, 2, or 3, and you have a handful of events and no other way to ramp, you're not going to get to ramp with this leader. Like, that's what purple likes to do, is ramp and get Dawn before your opponent. If I don't attack you and there's no way for you to activate an event on my turn, that leader effect is useless. So I'm thinking that you're going to have some kind of event that has a new clause on it that is going to allow you to use main events on your opponent's turn or something like that. I don't know. We'll have to see. But now we have Monet. It's a red, 2 cost, 3000 power, Punk Hazard, Don Quixote Pirates, counter 1000, activate main. You may rest this character, give up to 2 rested Dawn cards to your leader or one of your characters, then give one of your opponent's characters minus 1000 power during this turn. So this, on like turn 2 in combo with Caesar, you get to play this, give the Dawn to your leader, put the 3rd Dawn on Caesar, attack for 8, bounce this back to your hand, and pop something that was originally a 5k on your opponent's field. Yeah, this card is really good. I think this card is really good for the Caesar deck. And not only Caesar, but like, I mean, I could see this in a couple other decks. I could see this played in Dragon. Like, you get to give that 2 Dawn to your leader and reduce something by 1000 just for 2 Dawn. And then you get to move that Dawn to your other stuff. You just have to defend this card, and then you get that free Dawn like every single turn. It seems really good. Next, we have Senior Pink. I love Senior Pink. He's one of my favorite characters, and I love that they use this artwork of him. This is interesting. This is a purple Don Quixote Pirate, so I'm thinking that we're going to get some red and some purple. Maybe I'll be wrong about that. Maybe the red will be the Punk Hazard stuff, and you'll get to mix it in there, because this Monet is Punk Hazard and Don Quixote. And maybe the Don Quixote Pirates specifically are going to be purple, so I could see that. And I'm hoping they're not too crazy, because that's going to make Green Purple Dovi really strong. And I don't know. Anyway, this Senior Pink on play, Dawn -1. You can return the specified number of Dawn from your field to your Dawn deck. Add one purple event card with a cost of 5 or less from your trash to your hand. Then set up to one of your Dawn cards is active. Now, I think that's really interesting. You can play this like any deck and just get to add back any of your purple events. But I just don't really know a world where this is very crazy unless we have like a crazy event that I'm talking about for sugar that you're going to get to use to ramp really fast. Like in my mind, you go second, you use the event on your opponent's turn to ramp 3, you go to 5, you play Senior Pink, you Dawn -1, grab the event back, then you get to restand the Dawn, use the event again on your opponent's turn, ramp to 6, then 8, on your turn 3, I guess. Like, it's not the craziest ramp I've ever seen, but it's not bad either. I don't know. I'm interested to see what events we get for this, because we have one next, and it's interesting, but it's a main and a counter event. It's purple, Don Quixote Pirates. I can never forgive anyone who laughs at my family. Artwork is sick. Main/counter. Look at 3 cards from the top of your deck. Reveal up to 1 Don Quixote Pirates card other than this one and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. It being main and counter makes it really good, but like I said, if your opponent just doesn't attack you, you're just not going to get to use this on their turn. You're not going to get that ramp. So I'm really thinking we're going to get a card that says you can use events on your opponent's turn like they were main. I don't know. Maybe we won't. Maybe we will. But interesting idea. And then we finally got the last 2 leaders revealed. We have Eustace Captain Kidd, a yellow leader, Supernova and Kid Pirates 5 life. This is the only 5 life leader out of this set. Every other one is 4 life dual colors. And I think it's interesting we're getting a mono yellow Kid leader. Very, very interesting. Supernova and Kid Pirates. End of your turn, you may turn the top card of your life cards face up. Set up to one of your 3 to 8 cost characters with the Supernova type active. Then give that character gains blocker until the end of your opponent's next turn. Really, really interesting. I think we're going to have to get some really good support for this, because right now I'm not seeing anything in my head that makes this leader absolutely broken. If you're thinking of anything, let me know down in the comments below. Also, make sure to hit this with a like and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. But I don't know what could really break this leader. Like the law leader that you can see on the screen here, this one's already kind of broken. Like we don't really need too much to break this leader. Like whatever they give is just going to be gravy on top. It already seems pretty decent with the support that we have. But this Kid leader, man, I don't know. We're going to have to get some strong Supernova stuff. I'm thinking maybe a Katakuri type card that, or maybe something that has Rush. I'm thinking something that has Rush that you get to play, and then you attack with it, flip up your life, and then flip it as active. I don't really know, but I'm definitely interested. And then we have this law. Let me move this screen up because you cannot read the effect down there. And my big head's blocking it anyway, but I'll read it to you because I'm such a nice guy. Law, not even Trafalgar Law, just law. Law, green yellow leader, Heart Pirates, Supernova, Dressrosa. It's 5,000 power / 4 life, just like we would expect. And I want you to take a guess at what this leader does, because I've said this time and time again that they are so unoriginal with law leaders, and we've only had what, 2 so far, but they always make it play a character from somewhere. And I'm telling you right now, Law has other abilities that's not just Shambles. And I don't think that the creators and people that work on this card game know that. I think all they know is Shambles, and we get another Shambles effect on this leader. I mean, I'm not mad at it. It definitely doesn't seem as crazy as Red-Green Law or Red-Purple Law, but we've been proven wrong in the past with Red-Purple Law. I think this has the potential to go crazy if we have something that heals, and that's why I was talking about Corazon earlier, Rosinante. I definitely think that we're going to get a yellow or a green Rosinante that says if your leader is Law, heal 1. I definitely think we're going to get something like that, because if you're not a One Piece fan, you just play this card game. Rosinante gave Law the OP no Mi and basically healed him, saved his life. He healed him from the sickness that he had. So it would only make sense that we have a big, like 8-9 cost Rosinante that heals your Law leader, especially when this leader plays characters from your life. Oh, wow. Who would have guessed that your Law leader plays characters from somewhere and he's yellow? It has to be your life. Dawn times 1, activate main, once per turn. If the total cost of your characters is 5 or more, you can return one of your characters to the hand. Okay, there's your shambles. Reveal the top card of your life, and if that card is a supernova type character card with a cost of 5 or less, you can play it. There's already a ton of great options for this, but it makes me really scared for what other cards we're going to get. You know, having to take that life is kind of scary, but like, I don't really think that matters when you're playing yellow. Like, you're going to play triggers, and this is going to cheat out bodies that are going to be really powerful for you. Like, some of the green supernova cards are really, really powerful. Bounce Law is really powerful, the 5-cost blocker. Cavendish is insanely powerful, lets you play with 2 extra Dawn a turn. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I was reading, or one of my friends told me about a combo they saw the other day that was like, you play 8-cost Rosinante, then you play 5-drop blocker Law off of that. You use its effect to bounce something and play Hiyori, the yellow 2-drop from your hand. Take your top life, replace it with a Cavendish. Then you put the last of your Dawn on your leader, and you use the effect to bounce the Hiyori back to your hand, so you get your 2k back. Then you play Cavendish and get 2 more Dawn. Like, all in one turn. You put an 8-cost, a 5-cost, and another 5-cost, and got 2 extra Dawn in one turn. Seems really strong to me, and that's just to start with. I have a feeling that we're going to get some stuff that kind of gets out of hand very quickly, but let me know what you think down in the comments below. Make sure to join my Discord server if you want to talk more about it. We'd love to have you in there, and make sure to check out Dueling Guard in the link in the description. Use that code GUMGUMTCG to save yourself some money at checkout, and I will see you all on the next one. Peace.